Hi, it's Elena Puntaroli from Cascate di Luce, Cascades of Light, and welcome to today's video on the violet chapter, Educating to Dream. We are talking about education of light. This is the 7th chapter that is so much related to our 7th chakra, the crown chakra, because the crown chakra has to do with connection to light, to the non-physical, to the spiritual realm where we come from. And so it reminds us that we are far more than just a physical body, than what we see. We are here to create. And first of all, there is a substance that generates life. And this substance is what we are made of. Everything is made of this substance because everything has been received as an impulse, an idea, and then has manifested into what we see as our 3D reality today. And so it's like, how can we don't get lost in this all big co-creation? We have a map to follow. So the desires that we have within are the signs that our soul utilize so that we keep the track of happiness, realization, and expansion. Yes, there can be contrast that help us expand, but it's still expansion. And so we just call what we don't want the thing that are not aligned to us, but they help us to recognize what we want. So they are very important often. And so this purple, this violet color, this chakra that we have is like reminding us you are here to dream your life. You are here to invent and co-create your life. You are here to make it possible, to open up and receive. Actually, this is really about our capacity to receive visions, insights for our life, and to honor our desires, to really recognize them are the reasons why we are here. We are here to touch our essence that is infinite, because life is infinite, we are infinite. And when it happens that we touch the preciousness of our essence, it can really be moving. It is very touching to me, and because it reminds me that I am part of something so much bigger and so much wiser. A love that is infinite and I can barely hold sometimes within myself. And so desires have a complete new perspective. They're not just things that we want to achieve and then, okay, we go to the next one and the next one and the next. Yes, it's like that because we are not done with one desire or two, life is a continuous, cause us to continuously desire something. But it's very different to desire from a state of presence and to desire from a state of lack. And I will dive into it later. When we listen to and live our desires already from within, way before they are manifested in this physical reality, we feel enlightened because they're like a light that is guiding us. And I've been so happy to discover the etymology of the word, of the verb desire. I really like to go back and see where a word comes from, like education, that is from the Latin educere, that means to bring out. So it really shines a new light on that too. And desire comes from a Latin verb that means from the stars, from the celestial bodies and realm. So, wow, isn't this the same thing that we are saying here? That desires are a sacred thing to us because they come directly from our soul, from our non-physical dimension, to remind us why we are here and what is the path for us. All desires have to do with joy, because light is always joy, love, and freedom. And so this is the main aspect. Another aspect is to remember that we are not just desiring something and make some space to receive it in our life, but as well as we go towards our desires with our intention, this desire is always and also coming towards us. So we are walking in the same direction. So that a desire is not something to achieve that is far. If this is my belief, I should look at it because it makes it far. And it keeps in the non-physical realm. It never allows such a far desire to manifest because I don't feel it close to my heart and to my reality. But if I imagine and feel that what I desire is also desiring me, he wants me to be surrounded by its presence. It's like we are desiring to get in a team. It's not just me desiring something that I have to go all the way. And so it's like a match, a beautiful vibrational match. I love a metaphor that I have been inspired to by the Aboriginal people in Australia. They used to sing things to them because they know that when they sing something, they are calling it to them and they are going towards the thing. So it's actually the same principle. And I love that there is something in the vibrational reality that is waiting for us to call it in order to show up. And so I like to sing desires because when we sing desires, it's pretty much like going from the static knowledge that is there. Is there. Yes, we can say that is there. But when you call this knowledge because you want to discover more about it, you are interested in transforming this knowledge in something vibrant, in something dynamic, the dynamic knowledge, because you want to enter into it through the language of the spiral, which is made of color, sound, and movement. You confer life, the breath of life to it. And so it's the same when we sing our desires. We can sing them because we can really add color, sound, and movement to our desires. When we want to do a lab, we can put on the music that we like, or we can sing what we like and move in the same way that is like the vibration of the desire that we have in the heart. And adding some colors, there are many exercises about this in my previous book. The Spiral of Emotions actually is all about the language of the spiral, and so how to confer color, life, breath, movement, and sound to what we really want and who we really are, because the desires that we have in our heart, as I said, they are signs from our soul. So they are not there for a casualty. They're not there because they could be of someone else's. They are very specific to you. In fact, when you forget about them, you can really lose your way. You can lose your light. You don't see the path ahead anymore because you have forgotten the agreement that you did with the non-physical dimension when you forget about your desires. It is something that I know very well because I've been there in a place of depression and feeling that my life was without meaning and there was nothing more important to me. A few times I've gone through what I call the dark night of the soul, and I know how it feels like. And in all the few times that I've been going through this, I've forgotten about my dreams, why I was here. And so it can really feel scary because you don't recognize yourself, your life. But there is always a way to go back because we don't have to strive to be in our desires 100% of the time. I mean, nobody does it, and we are not called to do this. We are called to remember them, to live them, but contrast is also important because when we forget about them, so we lose alignment with source, so we get disconnected from the violet, and we don't remember very much where we come from or why we are here. Well, something interesting happened because we go far from our the signs from the soul and our destiny, our truth. But going far from it help us to appreciate the going back to it when we are able to do it. And so it's like appreciating again who we are, why we are here, and to choose again why we are here. And there is so much power in choosing again, what I call the second chances. It's like to have another opportunity for another life, we can say, because you can develop such a powerful focus and clarity that you couldn't have it before when you only choose once. But with the second time, or maybe the third and more, you get such a clarity that you really say yes, and you create such a powerful vortex that you can call to you and sing to you all the wonderful cooperative components that wouldn't have come to you before. Another analogy that has been inspired by the Aboriginal singing is the dancing of the infinite and not the finite. Because of course in the language of the spiral there is also the movement, so it's important to create love where we can express the body and be in the colors, so coloring, drawing, painting, whatever it is, and expressing the voice or listening to inspirational and powerful music that is very much connected with our desires. And while dancing, remember to dance the infinite and not the finite. The infinite is when I am aligned to who I really am. So I remember where I'm from, why I'm here, and that there is always a reason for everything. And so I am in the presence of my desire. When I dance the finite, so something that has an end, from A to B, like the straight line that we have discussed already, I am more short-sighted. I don't have a long-term vision. And so I want things because they are for just for immediate pleasure, or even for feeling a sense of void, or maybe to answer someone else's expectations or my own expectations, which is never a good idea to desire something, because after one expectation there will be another one, and is not how we can deal with the negative expectations that we have towards ourselves. There is another way to do that. So it's not true desires, because when we are there, we are calling and singing our desires and dancing our desire from a state of lack, from a lack consciousness. And so we are pushing against our desire. We are not calling them, actually, because we are calling their absence, because our desires, they are heart's desires. The full title of Education of Light is A Creative Vision for a School Inspired by Heart's Desires. Because when I'm talking about desires, they are always from the heart. They are the signs that our soul uses to remind us. So it's very different from anything else. When you are in the lack, so dancing the infinite, you think, when I will get there, when I will have this thing, I will be happy. And I will be happy forever. That's an illusion. It's not going to be like this. And we know that it's a process that takes what it takes, because it's a process to go from singing the finite to singing the infinite. So from the lack to the presence. It's really a journey. And that's why Education of Light is in place, because it is helping doing this process. It is guiding this process in a very specific way. And it's important to remind also that we can only learn through repetition, like neuroplasticity studies have told us. When we want to learn new things and we are about to create new neural pathways in our brain, we have to go through it many, many times. And so, like kids teach us, repetition is the mother of learning. And this is not something different, because we haven't learned Education of Light at school. I mean, I wish I had, because this is really something I adored, that I could have this opportunity to, but I am still so much pleased to share this with you, whether you are a teacher, an educator, a parent, a curious soul, and a sensitive being, a starseed, that want to bring this knowledge to yourself and to your kids, students, and others, to uplift this world. It has been a pleasure sharing this with you today, and I will see you in the next video, the White Educating to Freedom, which is our last and closing chapter of Education of Light. A big hug to you. Ciao.